Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto content, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple XRP and really kind of why I believe that it is really ready to fly to $1 plus. But before we jump into the video, I just want to let you guys know that we are still having our buy one get one 25% off summer sale right now. You can get on here and get your very own Ripple XRP 589 infamous poster, 25% off if you buy two, or if you can buy this one as well as another poster of your liking. You don't have to buy two. You can pretty much just buy one, and pretty much just buy one for $30 if you wanted to. But it's all up to you, guys. There will be links down in the description below, and also the comments below. But with that being said, let's analyze the market. So obviously the market is performing fairly well, and so is XRP, sitting at about 76 cents. Nothing too crazy overall in terms of that. Now, when we're talking about XRP and we're kind of talking about the price for it, I've been talking about a few other assets as well, talking about a few other things to really analyze, talking about the DXY or the dollar, talking about Ethereum dominance, and also talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. Now, the interesting thing about XRP is the fact that we've been kind of riding this 200-day MA as well as the support at about 70 cents for quite some time now. Honestly, we've been in this for roughly about 10 days overall. Now, I do think that this is pretty much the launch pad for $1 that we are building. And I know that might sound crazy, but it would not be a surprise considering the fact that we kind of did the same thing even back here before we launched to our massive all-time high that we made this bull run, which was only $1.98. We still have, the major all-time high at about $3.84. But this pattern is something that XRP likes to do even in the past, right? We've seen this major, pretty much foundational support. This is pretty much after the SEC, and then we pretty much jumped out of it. Now, this one took a little bit of time, right? So this one was actually roughly, so this took 21 days. And this one over here, this one over here was a little bit different. So you can kind of see that we were pretty much in a zigzag pattern going up, down, whatever. But then we kind of traded sideways for a little bit in it was only 8 days, right? Now, obviously, this pattern here is not similar to this one too much, but it kind of is. I mean, realistically, if you take it from, say for so, I would most likely go from this candle here because this was the major jump. It was roughly about 14 days. I'm more so leaning towards this pattern here because this is kind of more so our style. Now, if we're looking at this one over here and what we're kind of trading at, so like I said, we've been in this for pretty much about 9 days exact. So realistically, we could see a major jump out of this pretty much, I would say chop zone at about 70 to 80 cents to go to that dollar and pretty much test $1, I should say, and see if we could break it. Now, where would that put us realistically? I think it pretty much puts us at around the middle of the month, probably around the 18th of August. I would say. I think that this is a safe bet, and I do think that we'll most likely kind of trade sideways a little bit longer. I know a lot of people are waiting for this to happen. They're waiting for XRP price action to really kind of jump in terms of price and actually see it actually move, because I know that we've been trading in a very boring style for quite some time. Now, the interesting thing is how high could we actually go off of this jump, say for so, if Bitcoin is allowing us to move, because right now Bitcoin is the #1 thing to watch in terms of any price action. So realistically, we could do kind of something similar to this move here where we kind of go up and then we kind of have that pullback, or we could have something like this, right, where we kind of go up, trade sideways for a little bit, go up, and then trade up, 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 and then kind of go, who knows, right? $1.98 all-time high. It's hard to say currently right now, but I will say right now, XRP loves to trade sideways and then just have this massive move. Now, I personally would say that this entire sideways trading realistically was about 61 days, because this was actually a very boring sideways trading momentum here. So we built strength for quite some time before this major run up. Now with this thing, it's very interesting because we've had pullbacks like this in the past, right? We've had, 50% pullbacks before we jumped over 150 plus the next time. So realistically, it wouldn't surprise me if we pumped up about 150% from our current levels. Now, you might be wondering, well, where would that pretty much put us? Now, if we actually look at this and we go to, let's go to the price, and say for so we go 150 plus, it would basically bring us back to our current price right now. Now, the thing is that right now we don't know what's actually going to happen in the market, because right now we have to watch Bitcoin and the overall volatility of it, because we are at some crucial levels. A lot of people are calling for a major pullback still on Bitcoin. Who knows, right? But I will say this. The thing that I love about XRP is that every single time that we've dropped and bounced off of a significant support level. For an example, this support level here was at 62 cents. We also bounced off a support level here, which was at about 52 cents, and we kind of rode that a little bit as we kind of broke back up into a major support level at 70 cents plus. The thing is that on 70 cents, and I'm not even talking about this stuff here, we pretty much consolidated in this back in December. And I don't know if you guys remember in December, but when we broke down a little bit before the SEC news, we jumped right back into it and we were ready to go, and then the SEC news came. So realistically, this was kind of a killer move from the SEC to kind of stunt our growth in terms of just the value of XRP. But if we look at the same pattern here, we could have a little bit of a pullback, if you will, back down to about 66 cents or even possibly 62 cents before we really take off. Kind of similar to what we were kind of doing here before we were ready to go off, and then we just didn't do that. The same kind of goes for this here, right? We started to move up. We had a slight pullback. Go to move up again, have a slight pullback, trade downward, sideways a little bit, and then we had that major run. So, who knows when this run is actually going to happen, this major run to an all-time high. I personally would like to say it's around the 18th of August to around, who knows, right? The 30th of August or even the beginning of September, which I like that time zone just because, if we're actually looking at things from a realistic standpoint, I know a lot of people don't think that we need to move too much in the market yet. Like, for example, a lot of people still think that Bitcoin is pretty much going to just start flying in the middle of August. A lot of people still think that XRP is going to break $1 like tomorrow or, on the 8th or, whatever the case may be, right? So realistically, the major things to look at right now are, one, the whole idea of this bill being passed for crypto. That is a big player right now in terms of crypto prices. But two, the major breaking point for crypto is just kind of Bitcoin, right? We really need to watch Bitcoin, and we really need Bitcoin back at a key level at about 48K plus, realistically. Now, we have been rejecting the 200-day MA, like I said. We've been rejecting it, riding support. We could not break 80 cents. Once we break 80 cents, and I do have it marked here, and we hold above it, I think that's where we'll really kind of see the retest of $1 plus. Now, I personally want to see us break back up into this 95-cent zone. That will pretty much get us back into those pre-dumpage zones and pretty much get us back on track to that $1.98 plus and, soon the all-time high. But realistically, the problem right now that XRP and most altcoins are facing is just the dominance of Bitcoin kind of ranging over the market. So until the dominance on Bitcoin is truly cleared, we won't really move too much in terms of XRP's price. But I will say this, I do think that we are ready. I do think that we are building a nice support channel here, and I do think that that support channel will most likely lead into something like this, where we get that 150+% pump, similar to almost every single other pump that we've seen back in the past. Even if we look here, when we had this major pullback on April 6th, we ended up doing a 154% of a pump increase. We pretty much like that number all the time, especially even if we go back to this zone here on the SEC, right? This is all the SEC price points, and we kind of go to this level here. This was actually a 355% of an increase in price. But if we go off of something like, this price down here, we could see that that was pretty much roughly about a 228% of an increase in price. Most of the price increases, like this was actually the Wall Street bets. This was pretty much that Reddit sort of stuff that a lot of people were talking about in terms of a price jump, pretty much manipulation, if you will. Now, most of our pushes up have been about 200% to 355%, and even roughly sometimes. Now, this is obviously starting from a jumpage. So if we actually go from this candle here where it really kind of started, it was still roughly 250% of an increase in price. So, say for so, we don't do a 150% of an increase in price, and we actually do 250% of an increase in price, that would pretty much get us back to about $2.60 overall. So I believe that realistically, I think that we are kind of ranging to have something similar to this, where if we even look in the past, all of these pumpages that we've seen have been roughly about 200% plus, and if we do see a 250% of an increase in price, that would be a significant level, and it would most likely put us on track to get to that all-time high before having a little bit of a pullback, obviously. But even if we go back to 2020 overall, and we even see pumpages back here. Now this was roughly at 83%, and even like some pumpages back here were like pretty much roughly about 100% or so. So meeting in the middle at about 150% doesn't seem too bad. It will get us back to that $1.98 essentially almost, and I do think that the price action from there will pretty much play out accordingly. But for the most part, I do think that we are, like I said, building a nice foundational support here. This will pretty much be the launch pad to that $1.98 plus, and essentially getting us back to about $2.60 plus cents to retest that all-time high up here, which I do have. This is like $3.98. A lot of other exchanges have it listed at like $3.84, $3.98. It's roughly all over the place, but we'll just say like $3.84 just to pretty much get somewhere in the middle. So realistically, a pump to that price would be about a 403% of an increase in price, which isn't anything significant, especially when we look at some of the past little moves up. Most of these moves that are like 200% and stuff are absolutely nothing. Like a lot of people will get euphoric over them, but honestly, it's really nothing, especially when compared to most altcoins and what they do. So I do think that around the end of August into the middle of September, most likely the beginning into pretty much around the 10th or the 15th of September is when we'll really see Bitcoin at those massive highs again, and we'll see XRP making moves in the market. Don't know if we'll get to the all-time high at that point, but I definitely do think that we'll pretty much see about roughly a 250% of an increase in price to get back to about $2.70 overall. And I do think that that will pretty much be a good starter point for the December run that we have been anticipating for a double-digit asset of XRP basically reaching $10 to $20 to even $30 at some point in time. So with that being said, a lot of things to really look out for. Mainly watching, first off, definitely watching the SEC case closely, definitely watching these bills closely, definitely watching the indices as well, Bitcoin dominance, pretty much a lot of things to really kind of look forward to in the market. But tomorrow I am going to be a little bit inactive, going to see what I could do tomorrow, really kind of analyze the market, because usually Saturdays and weekends are really rough for crypto, but I do think that we could see a really green weekend. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can see as well. And yeah, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with something. Hopefully I could do a little quick update for you guys as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. Hope that you all have a great weekend. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.